Ryan Avila. I tell you, I know on the camera, Avila's car looks plain and white, but must be the way the light's hitting it, because on my screen, it is gorgeous. Tanner Pettit Racing 49. Avila off to a clean start on the bottom. Cuts back up, back down to the bottom. Griggs now pretty much the only car chasing the top, but he is ripping it up there like there's no tomorrow. Griggs making a move on Avila from the top. He's got that top side working. Griggs might come around and take lap number one. Leader for lap number one, Chad Griggs, riding high and not afraid to die up there. He absolutely put on a show. Now Avila getting under attack by Shell. Shell down on the bottom. Avila now moving to the top. Yellow's a flag out. Sounds like Ross Kaiser may have just bit that cushion a little bit. Chad Griggs did not come to play tonight. He came to win. He absolutely put it up there and let it eat. And that is sometimes what you got to do against the big dogs. And there are some big dogs in this field. Several pros across multiple disciplines. A world champion in Tyler Shell. All-time winning NARC leader. Second all-time winning NARC leader. This field is tough. All right, pace car is going to come around this time. Looks like we should get the one to go. Signal. I can see Shell's crew sitting down there. They're actually walking over to the Mealer pit. The Mealer's crew is sitting down there eating nachos, so they apparently think it's all up to the driver at this point. They went out and got nachos at the nacho stand, and they're sitting there on the back of the mule eating some nachos. So, when to go here? Griggs, Avila, Shell, Cox, Dudek. Your top five. Ashton Mueller rounds out him in sixth. Greg gets a good start. Stays on the top of the track. Shell goes to the bottom. Avila now under attack by Connor Dudek on the bottom. It's almost like he doesn't have that car quite set up for the top, but I think Griggs might have something in store for him, as Shell is a coming down on the bottom. Shell continues to tiptoe through the tulips down on the bottom, and he is closing on Griggs, who gets a little bit of cushion jump there, still to lead this lap. 25 laps to go. Shell's pushing, though. He knows Griggs has something up there. Shell, again, down on the bottom. Griggs on the top. They're nose-to-nose on exit. This time, the advantage again to Griggs, but by a little bit less. A little bit less this time. Avila starting to fall back. Bradley Cox not necessarily reeling him in, though. Out front, Shell to lead this lap now, though. Shell now in the lead as he continues to tiptoe the bottom. Two completely different approaches to the race here. Shell on the bottom, a more conservative throttle approach. Griggs on the top, just absolutely hammering the wall as hard as he can. Griggs just a little too hard there. Shell's going to get a clear advantage now. Griggs may have some damage. Shell pulls out a good gap at this point. Now Avila pulling back up to the tail tank of Chad Griggs. Shell, Griggs, Avila, Cox, Dudek. The top five remains the same. New player enters the game, though. Now we've got Kenny Hoffman in sixth place, and he's got a big gap, but he's closing it. That gap closing for Hoffman. The caution brings him into the game. Otherwise, he's got a lot of work to do to get back up there. Dudek, his teammate, starting to slip into his grasp. Chad Griggs now back to the tail tank of Tyler Schell. Right against each other as they cross the finish line. Schell with the slider around lap traffic. Griggs cuts underneath him. What a move! Chad Griggs back to the lead against the world champ. Griggs slides back up to the top. That's where he wants to be. Schell cuts the nose, but no grip there. Now he's under attack from Ryan Avila. Ryan Avila now back in the picture. Cox back in the picture. Throw a blanket over the top four. Griggs with the cut down on Schell and a little bit of contact. Schell now back to 4th place. Ryan Avila can't capitalize on Griggs and Schell's contact. Griggs leads the lap, 16 laps to go. 17 laps to go. Schell now back to the bottom, tiptoeing through the tulips, just waiting for a chance to pounce at this point. Avila now tries the slider, doesn't have the momentum to make it work. On exit, he's going to be under attack now from Bradley Cox, who did have the exit momentum being up on the top of the speedway. Cox takes the slider all the way to the top of the track. Avila cuts down. Chad Griggs checking out. Watch out, boys. He's going to get away from you. We're coming to 15 laps to go now. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place car racing like there is no tomorrow. Chad Griggs out for a Sunday drive on the top. Now he's got this cut down as the exit of the top of the corner gets very, very tricky. Ryan Avila now starting to reel Griggs in. Avila into the wall in the middle of the corner. Can't quite get back to him. Now they're starting to close in. Single filed out. We're already back into lap traffic. Kenny Hoffman mentioned he might have entered the game. He's already exited the game. He's starting to fall back a little bit. These boys are ticking off laps at a stalemate's pace. 13 laps to go. Lap traffic right in front of them. Who will work through this the best? Schell continues to fall off the pace. Now it's Griggs. It's Griggs, Avila, Cox. Schell now falling back and getting almost eaten up by Connor Dudek, his teammate, or Connor Dudek. Griggs working lap traffic. Avila gets a run. Avila now down to the bottom of the track. Griggs slides to the top through the traffic. Avila's got a run on the bottom of the track. And Griggs is going to hold it. Continuing through lap traffic. 1, 2, 3. Avila definitely working lap traffic better, but you've got to capitalize on the space. Griggs absolutely slamming the wall down. Avila can't make anything working through those cars. Now they've got a little bit of free space. Take a breath. Take a breath. 10 laps to go. Avila has got to reel him in, and that's going to be patience. Griggs makes a little bit of wall contact. Avila throws the slider on him. New leader, number 49, Ryan Avila. Chad Griggs now under attack from Bradley Cox. Avila starts to pull away a little bit. Looks like the Griggs car is starting to go away. Now Griggs back to the tail tank of Avila. Coming out of turn number 4. Coming to 8 laps to go. Griggs not able to close in. Cox right on the tail tank of Griggs, but he can't make anything work. And Tyler Schell now absolutely getting under attack by Connor Dudek. Griggs falls victim to Bradley Cox. Bradley Cox now on the prowl for the number 49 of Avila. Avila has just 7 laps to hold him off. More lap traffic now running the bottom of the speedway. Leaders kind of running the top in this cut down. Jeremy Christensen heeds way, just like the KG veteran that he is. Cox and Avila up top. Griggs up top. Schell up top. Dudek up top. The rest of the field kind of running this middle line. Top is treacherous. Cox makes a low dive under Avila. They're side by side on the entry corner. Lap traffic is the pick. Cox slides the car all the way up to the top. Avila gets all the way down on the bottom. Bradley Cox, your new leader. Ryan Avila now trying to track him down. 5 laps to go. Lap traffic out of the picture at the moment. Now it is a battle between Avila and Bradley Cox. Chad Griggs still holding the place position back there. At last place on the podium, he's got at the moment. Tyler Schell doesn't seem to have anything for him, but he's a little squirrely at the moment. Car starting to go away on him. Avila now up to the top, trying to cut down. drops the nose down to the bottom of the track. Griggs into the wall just a little bit more. Griggs holding off the world champ for third. Bradley Cox with 3 laps to go. Avila now making the strong cut down. He turns the nose on the entry of the corner, cuts all the way down the speedway to get down to the exit grip. This time he stays up on the top. Cox a little bit loose. 2 laps to go for Bradley Cox. Bradley Cox cuts down to the bottom. Avila cuts down to the bottom. If you're running the same line, you're probably not going to pass him. Now Avila and Cox both run the slider in 3 and 4. White flag is out for Bradley Cox. Just one more trip around Oswego Speedway to see if this works. Lap traffic probably not a factor at this point, though it may be here. Hold on. Hold on. Cox down on the bottom. Bradley Cox out of turn number 4. He will be your winner, followed by Ryan Avila. Chad Griggs holds off for a 3rd place finish over the world champion Tyler Schell. Then Connor Dudek, Kenny Hoffman, Ashton Mueller, Gavin Chatham, Dean Reynolds, and Miles Jansen round out your top 10.